There's a juxtaposition of the beauty of the sea and of the vessel on the water, the birds, and the reality that environment has been sort of overridden by human waste, litter, plastic consumption, and sort of the people that have to dedicate their lives to fixing this. This is not being done at a global scale in the way it should be, and a lot of the waste is the fault of a lot of failures in government regulations. And I thought that seeing these people being out in the field themselves was quite inspiring because it showed that this was more than just a philosophical idea for them. This was a very passionate and in many ways a spiritual type of dynamic with their relationship with nature, the sea, their work. And I thought that the piece had a really great sort of way to function as an educational tool and as a sort of human interest story that I thought was quite powerful. And I thought towards the end there was a line about having respect for the sea or the field and how it's vital for you to have a productive relationship with the environment. And I thought that there were a lot of lessons in that idea, and I thought the piece worked hard to sort of reflect how important it was to have a more respectful dynamic with nature, given that the consequences of this would be and have shown to be quite catastrophic if you do not do that. So I thought it was a well done piece and a very sort of informative and inspirational piece that I thought worked well because it had a great, I thought, musical approach as well that gave a sense of gravitas to the entire documentary that I thought tended to work.
There's been this observed rise in this marine plastic pollution, and it really showcases the experiences of these fishermen and creating this initiative because there needs to be more research for responsible waste managing practices, and then also just creating a culture of this consciousness, this environmental consciousness within this fishing industry because of the fact that, I mean, one, I was never aware of, I'm aware that there's garbage in the ocean, but this really made me so aware of the amount of garbage that is in the ocean. The fact that you're pulling up however many nets of garbage compared to the nets of fish really put it into perspective for me, how much we have polluted this water. And it really made me want to dive into action in any way that I can, and I know that that's exactly what the purpose of this was.
Not only was it really cool and the cinematography was just beautiful and stunning, but it was so educational and intriguing. I have to commend the men and women for doing what they do in keeping our oceans clean and removing all of that litter and just things that people throw away from the bottom of the ocean. Some of the stuff that they find is just, it's crazy. It's crazy that they were able to pull those things up from the bottom of the ocean. I loved the music choices that the filmmakers did. I think that it was spot on. It didn't overpower what was happening with the dialogue, and it just kind of gave it this beautiful accent underneath.
Eye-opening documentary about how much litter is in our oceans, especially when these fishermen are bringing up their nets and seeing 90% litter and just 10% of the fish that they need. I liked how this documentary set up how much the ocean is so important for these fishermen's livelihoods. It is their whole life. It's what they've grown up in, and now they're slowly seeing it be replaced by garbage. And the fact that just in their lifetime it's become so noticeable is so scary. Them talking about, in the beginning only finding 1 or 2 plastic bags and now bringing up entire van loads of trash in one day is just incredibly scary for me. Seeing the footage of the nets coming up with so much garbage amongst the fish and hearing about how a lot of the fish have garbage in their systems and their stomachs when they're cut open is disgusting, especially seeing that and knowing that it's going to become food was quite terrifying. So I think this documentary is very eye-opening and raised a lot of awareness for the state of our oceans right now.
It is just astonishing how this high tonnage of litter and plastic pollution has been found during fishing jobs. It's how fishermen became such good recyclers it represents so much extra work to collect, sort out, weight, and document all the trash they find while doing their actual jobs of fishing. It doesn't seem fair at all for fishermen to be also the guardians of waste to avoid pollution of our food. And I appreciate this high quality video as a means to remind us of the importance of our ocean's health. I loved it. It was very sad and tragic, but it's also hopeful to see these people very passionate about helping us clean the oceans. And I know it's about the ocean, but that final shot with the seagulls was real magic too. I loved it with the drone. We get this very close-ups of seagulls flying.
Pollution and climate change affects everybody on the planet, but there are definitely people that it affects more in their day-to-day lives than it does others. So for like these guys, it affects their actual day-to-day job. It affects their actual day-to-day income. You know, picking up that much litter when they used to pick up so much more fish, and you know how that has changed their own intake. I think is a huge thing. And so the fact that they've kind of turned that into, well, what can I do? How can I help? I don't want this to, you know, it's something that is clearly happening. So let me do something about it. And I think that that's just such a lovely idea, and that's such a lovely concept. And it's, you know, kind of, if everybody kind of decided to take that attitude, I think the planet would probably be in a better place. Or if we can get those stories heard, or those, you know, voices heard, those stories told, then I feel like as human beings we would maybe rise to the challenge a little bit more, because it takes away from being this kind of conceptual abstract concept, and it brings it into, this is, you know, affecting somebody's life. They have wives, they have kids, they have families, you know, this is something that impacts them daily. And I think that if we could prioritize that more than hearing it in a, you know, this monotonous kind of media political scope, I think that, you know, maybe people would, it would break that, you know, numbness